I am fuming. So my box of lures, it's worth about 150 quid, is at the bottom of the ocean somewhere. Fish on! Fish on! Fish on! Hello and welcome back to Specimen Dave TV. March bass. That's what we're after. I've been out 3 or 4 times already March. Not a hope. But there is a few fish showing for some lads, so hopefully they'll show for us as well. We've got a good surf out here today. This is one of the marks I fished already. It was completely different conditions. It was flat cam conditions, clear water. But today we've got quite murky water, and as you can see, quite rough. So hopefully we can pull a fish out. So let's get out there, see what we can find. This is not the first time that myself and Peter had fished this mark. We had fished it exactly 1 week before in completely different conditions. The week before it was flat calm, the water was crystal clear, and I think it was 6 or 7 hours, and the two of us didn't even catch a whiff of a fish. We threw the absolute kitchen sink out there, and they just didn't want to have that to do with it. However, over the past couple of weeks I had been seeing some posts online about lads that were catching nearby and around the same areas and not too far away, but they seemed to be all catching them as the sun went down and into darkness. So we decided on this session that we would hit the higher tide later on in the evening rather than fish from the morning throughout the day. The conditions looked pretty good when we arrived. We had a rolling kind of a surf, and the ground that we're fishing has plenty of gullies mixed with sand, rocks and weed. It's bass heaven. Unfortunately this mark hadn't produced for us yet. So the area that I'm coming up on right now, this is where I lost my lure box, which had about €150 worth of lures in it, ranging from pachinkos to Evo Bass and everything. So if you actually recognise where I'm standing, you can get down and have a look. Finders keepers, maritime law and all that. But you'll see where I cast right here. That's in behind that rock right there. What it is an area of calm water until the waves crash over the back of it, and it leaves all the white suds on top of the water. And it's an area where the bass will hang around hoping for any disorientated bait fish to get washed in and that they can take advantage of. These are the exact kind of areas that I would like to target on an incoming tide, which I was doing. But this little calm area behind the rock, it seemed to be filled with a lot of weed that was getting washed up with the southerly wind that was blowing in our face. Now if you had a keen eye, you would have seen my lure box in my left jacket pocket while I was standing on that rock and on my way up to that rock. But as I'm coming off of that spot exactly, up through this little kind of gully, it's gone. The heartbreak was real. But I had 2 lures left in my pocket. Of course I could have borrowed some off Peter and we had more in the van, but I was being stubborn and determined to catch a fish with one of the 2 lures that I had left in my pocket. Hands get wet, they get cold here. This is the moment that I realised that the lure box was gone. Are you fucking shitting me? I am fuming. That's the pocket that I keep all my lures in the box. I was looking at some waves and I thought, you know what, lure would be perfect for them. The shallow divers I had. Reached down for it, it's gone. So my box of lures, it's worth about 150 quid, is at the bottom of the ocean somewhere. I hope you enjoyed them, Poseidon. No mark, no surf, clear water. Try chuck some top water lures here. I have a frosty on.
See what happens.
So we're on about an hour before high tide here, maybe a little bit less. But out in front of me there's a stretch of about 20 yards of sand, and then there's rocks and gullies and weed, a massive patch of it.
Big seal.
So I wanted to stand on this little rock that I was on to get the most distance I could on me cast, so I could bring me lures across them gullies and rocks.
Skidoosh.
The kind of light level we're at now is what I was talking about earlier on in the video, when I had seen people catching fish in darkness and this kind of light level in the evening time. Now the fish definitely come in closer once the light starts to fade and it hits dark, which means that throughout the day they could just be further out and making their way in at night time to feed. In this case, I think that was what may have happened here. When the light levels start to drop to this level, I like to throw on the Evo Bass Lance 160. I think the action off of that in darkness and the low light levels is absolutely phenomenal. I've had a couple of people ask me how to fish the type of lures with no tail on them. So, for example, your Evo Bass Lance. And to be honest, there's no right or wrong way to fish them really. The lure is designed to look like an injured baitfish, a disorientated baitfish. So the crazier you can make it actually look in the water, the better, if you ask me. So if you can jerk it left, right, up, down, whatever way you can, the lure is going to dart in whatever direction you guide it.
Fish on! Fish on! Fish on! I turned the camera off a couple of seconds ago, but we got a fish. Nothing major, but there's March bass. There he is. Woo! He's a fine fish. Oh. Get him unhooked. It didn't look like a March bass was in the books, but here we are, the day before the last day of March, and what a fine fish. He's pushing about 60 centimeters, but look, I'm not going to bother measuring him. The main thing is we managed to fish just as darkness was coming. Most of the fish I've seen have been caught on darkness now at this time of year. Beautiful fish. Let's get on back. Woo! Get this fishy back into the water. Oh, there he goes. Woo! Oh, I'm stuck on my own rod. Yeah. Well, after losing about 150 euros worth of gear today, one of the two lures I had left in my pocket managed to land a fish. It was the Evo Bass Lance 160, just on a weighted hook. There it is there. Absolutely deadly lure, especially in darkness and coming to darkness, as it just showcased for itself. Produced a fine fish. Well, I can't use the GoPro anymore, so we'll rely on the phone, but See if we can pull 1 or 2 more over before we get over this evening. Haha! Woo! I'm gonna drop my phone in the water here, but I think we're gonna call that a wrap. Darkness is just falling, tides are returning. Very glad we got our March bass in, even after breaking the tripod. Losing €150 worth of lures, we still managed fish. Here's to better days and new lures. Thanks for watching. Have a good one. Woo.